Hi Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to your May reading. So the first day itself of May, we have Pluto going retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, and it just now has entered Aquarius like a month ago and it's already going backward. It indicates that we need some things that we need to find inwards, or we need to reflect about and internally transform before we move forward with things. Okay, so that's how we're going to use this, and this can talk about like our personal shadows coming up and kind of identifying what or actually how we are impacting the humanity at large. How does an individual choice change the course of the collective? Okay, so we're taking a long hard look at things. Now on the 5th, we have a lunar eclipse. It's a time of the full moon. The moon is in Scorpio and the sun is in Taurus in your sign. So it's happening across your 1st and 7th houses. You have been experiencing this last year. Although I will say that it will not feel exactly the same because we don't have the square between Saturn and Uranus going on. Saturn has moved on to Pisces. Uranus is still there in Taurus, but it's not really at clashing with Saturn here. So we don't have that push and pull so much. Instead, we have a whoosh of just release and surrender, I think. Just we don't resist anymore. There is a burst, a pop is something I get where something that has been plugged and kind of hung back is just being released here. Okay, so this can talk about like repeating relationship patterns for you, for example, or it can be just the way that other people see you. You're making certain changes and that's impacting the type of relationships you're attracting, or the types of people you're relating to, the clients that you're bringing in if you are in a business sector. So these things are very directly being impacted around this time. I will make a zodiac specific reading for this eclipse as well. I already made one for the Aries solar eclipse that happened on the 20th of April. So if you've not checked it out, you can already do so. The link is in the description box. But yes, I will make a specific one for this to get a little bit more of a deeper insight as to what will happen in the coming 4 to 6 months for you. Next, we have Venus moving into Cancer, which is a lot more soothing type of dynamic as compared to Gemini. You will be finding yourself more attracted to like calmer energies, more where you can feel intimate, vulnerable, at home, and comfortable in your emotional body. Those are the types of people you might find yourself communicating with more or connecting with more. This can also talk about you're relating more with the feminine figures in your family too. Perhaps you're talking more with them, or they have some upgrades going on in their lives that they're sharing the news with you. Your mental state is as well a lot more balanced and I think more peaceful as the month progresses. During this whole time, by the way, Mercury is still retrograde, and it went retrograde on the 21st of April. It will go direct on the 15th of May. So up until this time, we're still reflecting and thinking about things, okay? Things are not yet moving forward. We're kind of taking stock, researching, editing, just figuring things out at this time. Not much outward action or success is happening, at least until the 3rd week of the month, okay? So background action, more favorable. Okay, so after Mercury goes direct on the 15th, we have Jupiter moving into Taurus on the 16th. So it kind of boosts this house entirely, and it encourages you to, showcase yourself and your talents as well. Because again, this is in your 1st house of personality, your attitude, the way you're presenting yourself. So regardless of, by the way, if you're watching for sun or moon sign, Jupiter is still going to be there. So it's inflating or expanding the area of the chart that you are looking into. Okay, so this is motivating you and inspiring you from a deeper perspective. Also, it is making you very charismatic, very magnetic, and people are automatically drawn towards you. You might be in a guiding position here as well, or you're gaining some sort of expertise, becoming a guide yourself. Maybe you've learned a lot from all these different experiences you've been through, especially since the last year, and even 11 years ago and so on. The journey that you've basically been on, it has been kind of preparing you for a greater level of expansion and abundance here, and this indicates a literal upgrade, really. Okay, So yes, people will be magnetized, or opportunities are magnetized, financial blessings and resources coming through for you, increasing your savings and, stability for yourself and people that you care about. All right, next we have a new moon in Taurus happening on the 19th. A lot of Taurian activity there. So that indicates that you have a new birth in yourself. A new facet of you is coming out to the limelight, or, you see the seedlings of it. And now, you're putting in the work beyond this point to make it something very real and tangible. It can start off with an idea or a self-perception, and you want to make that a reality all across the board. So even if a stranger sees you, perhaps you want them to notice you for the self-perception that you have developed for yourself. For example, if you want to come across as, very wealthy, then you might have to shift your clothing or change your attitude, or, shift the way that you communicate. Different English is spoken in different places, and that goes for every language. I think you have more of the colloquial or the rural languages, or the more street languages. Meanwhile, you have the more posh version as well, right? So shifting certain things and making little changes with Taurus, it's always small, measurable, steady changes, right? It's these little changes that are going to create a much bigger shift, and you know that very well. That's actually your philosophy, so, right in your wheelhouse. But this here, the new moon here, gives you that opportunity to create yourself anew, basically. Next, we have on the next day, 20th of May, Mars moving into Leo. This is a fiery planet in a fiery zodiac, so that goes quite well. So there can be a boost in your confidence, the creativity that you feel in your home and family sphere as well. There can be some, achievements. There can be a competitive spirit though. Mars is a little bit of a warrior type, and Leo can get competitive. So yeah, kind of watch out for that. And battle of the wills, or two very strong people or two very capable people actually are kind of challenging each other, or you have conversation with your, mostly I'm going to say, the authority figure or the father figure, whoever you connect with. It can be a little bit of a contentious vibe. If you have children, then this can be that, they are being very willful and they're not listening to you, and there might be that, stare off, or who's going to, give up faster, that type of dynamic. Okay, a little bit contentious, but otherwise it's still I want to do things my way. I will barge forward and I will create my own path and so on. So in terms of if you're going to look for houses, or shift your house up in some way, then it's you don't care if you don't have certain resources or whatever. You're going to make do, you're going to make something happen out of it. And Mars is kind of giving you that willpower and confidence, and just about that intuition, the instinct, the intuition to go and do something very actionable about things. And Leo being a fixed sign, make sure that everything that you're making is standing up, just like you're as well a fixed sign, so you like things to stay for longer. So yes, this is going to work well for you. Now, the last thing that's happening is, well, not really the last thing, but the last major thing I'm going to talk about here is, Sun moves into Gemini, and we have Gemini season beginning on the 21st of May. So this one is in your financial sphere, so you might get some little bit more focus into the financial aspects of things, or you might be reprioritizing your life, perhaps thinking of organizing your space, or reading some books, maybe getting some new books here, or writing about something. Gemini is related to communication, so anything with communication devices, you could be purchasing these things, or you're looking into it, if you're wanting some sort of technology or gadget and so on. I would recommend that if it's a higher priced item, then maybe wait for the third week, preferably around the 26th, and of course definitely from the 31st of May you can go ahead and purchase whatever you want. But yeah, it's good to know beforehand. It's good to do your research and look into how much things are going to cost and what financial options you have around this time as the sun moves in there. And you can also get some benefits or advice from people if you just talk with your community, or other people who are doing the same things as you are, because they might have seen some sort of benefit or some sort of trick, a little bit of a bonus, technique, some sort of offer you can get, a referral or something like that. Maybe look around and talk here and there to get some of those extra benefits. Now in the next week we have a couple more aspects going on. I will not talk about them over here. I will post about them in the community, so subscribe, hit the bell, you will be notified. And same goes for the eclipse video that will come up soon. Your oracle card for this month is There is Nothing Sexier Than My Authentic Truth. Wow, talk about digging deep. Okay, now the first major highlight, we have money path. A path with money is waiting for you to find it. Very nice. We have 2 months of the year for you, by the way, so some timing going on. We have August coming through. This is Leo season. I think it's talking about the Mars and Leo situation, and during August we'll also have Venus and Leo, so there might be some sort of story development going on here. I think we'll see the next development in the month of August. Okay, then we have February as well. This relates with Aquarius, and that could be connected with the Pluto movement we're talking about. Okay, also is the 2nd month and the 8th month. So 2 and 8 is talking about the shared resources and your personal resources, financial aspects of things. Again, just like we have the money part. So there are definitely some shifts and changes that are happening. And you might see more developments in the coming incoming August. The February is curious. I guess you already had some type of epiphany or conversation. Something was developing already in February, and that is showing a little bit more movement, because I see this wind and the dynamism that's going on. I think some story that was developing is moving forward here. So it's interesting that we are not seeing money. It's a money path. It's still a journey, and there's a little bit here, a little bit there, and then you'll find a little bit more as you keep on going and walking along the journey, basically. Okay, interesting. Let's see your tarot cards. We have the 2 of Wands. Nice. Then we have the Hanged Man, or the Hanged One in this deck. Then we have the 8 of Swords. Yeah, that stuck feeling, right? Yeah. And we have the 8 of Cups. That's nice. And we have the 7 of Cups. All right. Your oracle cards, let's just see all of them. We have Imbalance corresponding with the Libra energy, and also Temperance. Also corresponds with Justice card in the tarot. We have One Step Ahead is All You Need. Yeah, definitely. It's the small little steps, right? With Taurus and with all this Taurus energy. Then we have Bravely Market Your Magic. Right, very nice. Okay, so you can be really making a personal mark on people. Venus in Cancer, again, can be very compelling in that way. The more genuine you are, the more comforting and calm and soothing you are, the more attractive you become, and you can draw in newer types of connections and networks. So Bravely Market Your Magic could be talking in that way. But even if you don't have a business, this can still say showcase yourself, your inherent skills and abilities very bravely. Step up to the plate and do the best that you can. And I think you've already been doing something here. Otherwise, the marketing concept doesn't even come. If you don't have the work, then what are you going to market, right? So the one step ahead is something that you have been taking so far, and you're still doing that, but you're also seeing a lot more results out of that. Options are opening up for you. We have 2 cards of choices, 2 of Wands, 7 of Cups, which feels as though it has been a long time coming. You've been waiting for this, or you've been wishing and manifesting for this, and there were blocks. You dealt with that, you looked at things from a different perspective, and there was a lot of analyzing or introspection, and at sometimes beating yourself down and things like that. But right now, the doors are opening for you, and imbalance indicates that you are at a harmonious state between you and your relationships in general, whichever relationship we're talking about here. Anywhere that you deal with things one-on-one, that is working out well for you. If you're involved in a legal procedure of any sort, this can be that, there's another information that comes up and you're dealing with it again in August. So I'm not seeing like this is the end of the story type of cards, but it does say that we are moving on. Okay, we're not staying stuck here. Although one thing to note is Pluto going retrograde, the best way to deal with that is to look inward, okay? If you look outward for solutions and changes and, massive shifts and transformation, then that's very hard to find. We need to dig deep, very deep, and dig into that insecurities if we have any. If there are certain fears that we need to deal with still, perhaps we're making a big decision and it's very much outside of your comfort zone. That's not really your element, Taurus, right? So you might have to think about it a little bit more and consider some other options to see if there's anything halfway. I'm afraid to say that it might be not halfway at all. It's just a completely new choice that you're making in some way. And of course, yes, it can feel a little bit uncomfortable and that can get you a little bit insecure. But it's honestly, if you make that choice, it is still leading you to a lot of benefits. This path is almost like the money path over here. So bit by bit, you're building yourself. For example, if you're used to being in a steady job, then obviously leaving it fully is not going to be a trivial decision that you make overnight. So of course, take your time and think on it. But the moment you know in your heart that it is right, you can move ahead from there. Maybe, yes, there are some intelligent choices you can make here, some arrangements that you can have. And like I said, communicate with people around you. They might have tried. Some people might have tried something like this and, maybe their solutions are helpful for you or it sparks up a new conversation here. There are some results that you will see in the month of August, like we talked about. The Hangman talks about Pisces, and also February at the end we have Pisces season. So that could have been a very reflective time for you, some cycles ending perhaps. Maybe you've built some connections around that time too that can be quite useful. I would like to clarify the Eight of Swords, please. For the month of May, Taurus. Clarify that, please. We have the Five of Swords. Okay, I think there's some sort of like misunderstanding or difference of opinion, and you don't really know how to solve it. Or it can be like that you have many ideas. It kind of depends on what environment you're in. So take it as it resonates. But it can also be like the battle of ideas. You have many things in mind and it could go many ways. But it can be that the way that you're thinking is hurting you, or like it's being overly self-critical in some way. So be wary of that. When we have Scorpio moon situations going on, it can be a little bit intense, or it feels that way. So, take a breather, take some time off. The Hanged Man indicates that some of you could be taking some break or vacation, maybe a long weekend, or just not having any commitments on the weekends, like doing your chores as well on the weekdays or something, so you have a little bit more, relaxation time or something here. Okay, so prioritizing self-care is a very good idea. Let's do the Hanged Man, please. Let's clarify that for Taurus, please. Hanged Man. Seeing things from different perspectives, and that surrendering vibe is coming through, right? Let's see. We'll do the Hanged Man, please. Now to take this, let's take this. We have the Four of Swords, which indicates peace and contemplation. Eight of Cups, please. Four of Swords, Five of Swords, interesting. Yes, we have the Two of Swords. You're moving by intuition here in the end. You try to use your logic, but it doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work. I'm just going to be frank here. It might not work, honestly. It will eventually, for sure, but before you take a certain decision or take a bit of a leap, then up until that point, it's going to be based solely on intuition and the instinct that you feel. That's why I said when you feel in your heart that it makes sense, that's when you move ahead with things. Otherwise, if it's still feeling a little bit off, take your time. Just take your time. There's no shame in that. It's your life after all. So yes, Two of Swords can say that logically every option seems right. It can go great. There are some pros and cons, some things that could or could not work. So it's like at a stalemate, and you would not know which choice to make if you go purely by logic. Okay, I think that's where you're like feeling a little bit stuck here, that you can't solve it. You can't just know everything right away, right now. I think that's what is maddening you a little bit, because Taurus likes to know, right? Taurus is more practical and grounded. It's like tangible stuff. It's not really the metaphysical so much. Meanwhile, Scorpio is all about the metaphysical, and we're dealing with something that's completely outside of your element. Maybe connecting with people you're very close to can be very helpful. If you have a Scorpio friend, for example, they could be very, very helpful around this time because they are more used to dealing with these Scorpio vibes here. Okay, so ask for help. I think as the month progresses as well, you have a lot more support that comes about here. In the third week, we have some difficult aspects going on to your sign. So there can be like, I want to move ahead, but I have something else to figure out. Maybe if I go ahead, I'm doing a little bit too much. Am I overestimating this? Things like that could come up here. And once again, dealing with that is requiring your intuition here. Spending some time taking care of yourself or meditating is going to be a very important tool in your toolkit in this month, okay? Now I want to know what these choices are, what the Seven of Cups is about, please. For your reading, I have so many questions. We have the Hanged Man. Okay, so you're seeing a lot of possibilities from within. These ideas are coming from you, or it can be someone in your partnership house. So a one-on-one relationship where the person is not like you but is a very balancing influence on you. They can show you a completely different perspective, and that just leads to this drop of epiphany, and you're like, whoa, I didn't even think of seeing it like that, or I have not considered these options. That's a good idea. I'm going to explore them one by one. Something of that sort. Let's clarify the Two of Wands as well. Might as well, right? Two of Wands for Taurus, the month of May. Or any other water sign, by the way, does not have to be Scorpio. It can be Cancer or Pisces as well. Air signs, maybe a little bit later in the month. Yeah, okay. I'm guessing some of you have like financial advisors or something, and they can be helpful towards like the third and the fourth week of the month. Towards the end of the third week, actually. Two of Wands, please. Let's clarify one card, please, for Taurus. This one's like stubborn. Okay, thank you. Yes, we have the Six of Wands. Very nice. So you're thinking of like what would be a more successful option. What would lead me to my liberation, my success and triumph, help me achieve the things that I'm wanting to achieve here. I think you're looking for a sure shot success, right? You want to hear, if you follow path A, then you will win, or you will have the money you're looking for. You will have the reputation and admiration you're looking for. I think you're looking for a guarantee that is not going to be possible, at least not in this month here. But still the choice needs to be made around this month or as a result of this eclipse. We'll get into that reading. Maybe we have a similar theme coming up. If not, the choice is surrounding May itself. Okay, so yeah, no guarantee. You're just gonna take a little bit of a risk. But if it feels right, I think that's why we have this oracle card here, right? It does not come out lightly. I very rarely see this one. And it says there's nothing sexier than my authentic truth. If it's true, then it's true, right? Whether it is very lucrative or not, or whatever the case is, we can put as many parameters as we want, but if it's not true to us, it's not real in the heart of hearts, then what's the point? We would be unhappy in either direction that we take. So if you're looking for that abundance, it's time to look inward and display that on the outside here, okay? Because honestly, that's what is being told by your intuition here. The Eight of Cups is like shedding things and transforming things and by doing so, you're reaching to the more core part of you, and that's the winner. This butterfly is then unleashed and liberated. There's nothing holding it back anymore, and it's just itself. That's it. Awesome. So let's get into your astro dice here for Taurus, please. For the month of May, what can you know for Taurus? You have Cancer, Sun, and the 11th house. Yeah, your friends can be very supportive around this time, and you can hear some, offers and discounts and bonuses, things like that you can gather from your friends and connections as well. Some other additional support can come through in that manner. Or having a conversation or heart-to-heart with them is going to bring in some sort of clarity for you. You're focusing on your home and family, and also the way that you communicate. If you have a business and you're showcasing yourself in some way, the 11th house is about the social media network. So, you're putting in more of that personal touch and, connecting a little bit deeper with your people in some way here. Okay, and that's leading to some benefits, or at the very least, you just get to know a lot of new people, and that makes you very secure. Wow. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Taurus. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts. And if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. And like I said earlier, you can check out my community page. You can see the posts that are already there, see if that resonates with you. And there will be more to come as the month progresses. And I will be also uploading your lunar eclipse specific reading. If you have not checked out your solar eclipse reading, you can do so and the link is in the description box. Okay, so with that, I'm going to wish you a very happy month. I will see you some other time. Take care. Bye.